Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. Hopefully y'all can hear me because I have a lot of things going on in the background. But anyway, this is the recap for Queen Sugar. Alright y'all, so this episode started out with Ralph Angel being at home and Darla is over. You know, she's visiting Blue. The two of them are outside playing with a frisbee. And Ralph Angel is in the kitchen looking out like really happy. Like you can see him smiling from ear to ear because he could tell that Darla is in a really good place at this moment. So I'm here for it too because I was like, girl, because I didn't know what was going to happen to you because no. Like you was going all the way through and I was like, you ain't got no support right now. Everything is just seeming as though it's coming at you all at once and you ain't going to make it. But Ralph Angel has really been there consistently, so everything has been panning out really well for her, so I'm glad about that. So y'all, a little bit after that, Nova pull up. I guess Darla had already left and whatever. So Nova pulled up and Blue sees her and he's like, oh my gosh. And so he putting his shoes on and everything. And he was like, you can't go see your Aunt Nova. I told you she's sick. He was like, well, I just want to see her real quick. I haven't seen her in a long time. And so he just set it off. He was like, no, you ain't going to go see her. So anyway, he go outside. And, he was like, what you want, Nova? And so, she's trying to get him to talk to her. And he ain't here for it. And so she was like, I have some good news. I have some stuff I got to talk to you about. And Ralph Angel is not open for nothing because little does Nova know that Blue is now in therapy because all this stuff came out and she is like shook, like what? When did this happen? Like not realizing that the information that was in that book has been used as a weapon against her whole family in certain circles. So yeah, Blue is in therapy. She didn't know that because, she hasn't been around and nobody has been letting her be in the circle, even though everybody has been warming up now and Ralph Angel seems to be the last one, well, almost the last one who needs to come around. And, she didn't know about Darla relapsing because of all this stuff in the book. Like, at this moment, she's just looking like cat got my tongue because she is just like, oh my God, I can't believe all this stuff is going on. So she had to go ahead and retreat with her tail between her legs. Like whatever she wanted to talk to him about, that was just going to have to not happen at all or happen at a later date and time. And he ain't here for it anyway. So yeah, anyway, Charlie is at the house decorating for like a going away party / congratulations for getting into Harvard party for her son Micah. And she's really happy, he's there and he's like, is all this necessary? And so she was like, yes. So I mean, you can tell she is really here for him going out there and being one of the people who's gonna hopefully excel at Harvard. But anyway, Nova is now at home and she's trying to figure out what's going on with that old world energy. And, a name popped up. And so she ended up calling one of her connections at this newspaper. And she was like, look into this name for me. And so they were like, okay, I'll do that and get back to you. So she's in the middle of, digging up dirt and trying to figure out what's going on, trying to unearth some stuff. And then she gets a knock at the door. She goes to the door because she's looking like, okay, who is this? Because it's unexpected, and it's her Aunt Vi. So Aunt Vi done popped up on her, and she was like, yeah, anyway, I need Jimmy Dale's number because I got to return something to him. I got to give him something that belongs to him. And so she was like, okay, but I have a feeling that that's not what's really going on here. So, I just think that you're trying to go somewhere to meet up with him and be on your own. And so she was like, just give me the address. And so she was like, I'm not giving you the address unless you allow me to drive you and let me be there with you. And so she thought about it. She was like, you can drive me. Oh, and then the other stipulation was she had to talk to her. She was like, you can drive me, but I ain't got nothing to say to you. right now, you know, if I do ever have anything to say to you. So, you know, Nova is taking what she could get at this point. So it's like, okay, whatever. So Jacob seems to be losing the race. And, you know, I'm looking like, okay, well, I'm still not about to hold my breath on that, because I ain't no telling what can happen in the last second, because there are forces at work, evil forces. Speaking of, Prosper was talking to Charlie, and he was like, well, you know, I know the election is coming up, and I tried to go somewhere, and they tried to tell me that my name is not on the roll, you know, as far as being able to vote. So she was looking like, okay, what in the world? And so he was like, you know, I, you know, thought something was wrong with that, and I've been here my whole life, and I've been voting, and so other people are having the same problem. So somebody is doing the most to make sure that even though Jacob has thrown a major wrench in the campaign, Charlie is not going to be able to win if this stuff continues to happen. And so he took it upon himself to go around and see, like, he was like, I made a list of all these people. Like, he had a long list of people who had all the same problems. And I mean, like, there's literally like a week until it's time to vote. And so Charlie is just looking like, okay, this don't make no sense. This is too much, y'all. So they're in the middle of talking, and then Frances, Jacob's mama, roll up, and so she was like, yeah, I need to talk to you, Charlie, alone. And Prosper stood there like, what you gonna do is talk to both of us, because she gonna tell me what it is anyway. So I was like, oh my gosh. So she was like, it's okay, Prosper, you can go. You know. And so she was like, I don't know what you do to my son, but this don't make no sense, whatever. I was like, oh my gosh. She was like, all I did was provide him with information that, you know, he should have known anyway. This was just random information, you know, whatever. Y'all, I cannot. Frances tear my nerves down just looking at her. It's just too much. And so she was just like, girl, I ain't got time. And she just was like, I just don't understand what hold you have over my son. So then, you know, they're in the middle of going at it, and then two sheriff's deputies show up. And Prosper walks him in and was like, Charlie, these two sheriffs want to talk to you about something. And so that's when Frances was like, oh, you look like you actually have some work to do now, or something like that, trying to be shady, and she left. So Charlie eventually takes them back to her office and is talking to them, and they are, of course, trying to follow up on everything that went on with the mill burning down. And they ended up trying to comfort her, and it's like, I have money, so you do know that I'm very wealthy, so I have no reason to just burn that down thinking I'm gonna get some money. So the only thing that they can come up with is that Micah was involved in that arson incident like last year. And so she was like, you know what, we can reconvene when I have my attorney present. Goodbye. Like, because the guy kept, it was a man and a woman, and we've seen them before. That man kept trying it, and Charlie was just like, you know what, nah, we're gonna wait till my attorney is present, because I ain't got time for this. So anyway, at this point now, Nova is actually driving her aunt to Jimmy Dale's house. And when she finally does speak to Nova, she just was going off. Like, you could tell she was angry, she was upset. She was like, you told the wrong story. You told the wrong story. And so Nova's just like, what? She was like, I told the world about how you overcame this situation and you won. And she was like, no, you told the wrong story. So it seems as though she feels as though, because she didn't say this happened, and despite all this stuff happening with my ex-husband, I have now found love again, and all this other stuff. Like, I think she feels like she focused and just had page after page and opened up all these wounds, and not focusing on what actually is going on now. Y'all, if y'all hear some stuff in the background, like the weather is trying to cut up, y'all know that, what is this, hurricane season, Hurricane Dorian is doing the most. I'm in Virginia and things are popping off, but I'm trying to get this done before it really starts setting it off. So anyway, but yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Nova, you can tell Nova is shook yet again, and her aunt's reaction, that would have me shook too. And, you know, she was just like, you told the wrong story. I was just like, oh Lord. So anyway, I told y'all earlier about how Darla was playing with Blue outside. So after they came inside, he actually told Darla that Nova popped up and all this other stuff, and how, you know, he didn't allow Blue to see her. And so she was like, well, what are you gonna do, you know, when she comes around again? And so he was like, what you mean? He was like, well, you're gonna see her at family events and you're gonna see her places. Like, you can't just keep this up forever. You know, she was like, no matter how I feel about what she did, I don't want my son, our son, to suffer like that. And I want him to have as much love as possible. I want him to get as much love as possible. And you know, everybody who has watched this show, who is invested in the show, you know how much Nova loves her nephews and all that. So I'm just saying, she lives for Blue. Despite the information that came out, she still loves him as if that was her blood related child, you know, nephew. So yeah, and he actually, what I neglected to mention earlier was, he was at the house and he was looking through some stuff, and Blue went in another room, and so he noticed this big old blue box with like fish or sharks or something on it, and it was a gift of some sort from his daddy to Blue. Now y'all know how much Blue lived for his granddaddy. So what he did was, when he heard Blue coming, he went on ahead and pushed it to the back. So later on, when Darla was over there, he was like, I gotta show you something. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna show her that. And so he ended up showing her that, and so she was like, oh my gosh, does Blue know about this? He was like, nah, I'm saving it. He don't know nothing about this. So I can't wait to see what his reaction is gonna be. I feel like this child is gonna cry down because he lived for his granddaddy. So anyway, y'all, they have arrived at their destination, which is Jimmy Dale's rundown trailer. And you know, Vi was like, you know, I gotta do this. And so she got out the car, she went up the steps, and then she knocked. She ended up having to knock like twice. And then Jimmy Dale came to the door. And what's the first thing he said? I knew you'd be back. I was like, don't nobody get no hello, no hey, no nothing. Especially after what happened before, I would be like, who? Her husband might be around the corner or something. Like, that man beat you down. He beat you down. Like, come on now. But anyway, he was like, I knew you'd be back. I wanted to slap him through the TV, y'all. David Alan Grier, sir. You always tear my nerves up when you get in these characters. And I've always lived for him for as long as I have been alive and have watched him on the TV show. I've always lived for his characters. If he wasn't making me laugh, he was making me cry. He was making me feel some kind of emotion. And it's like, I want to say I hate the fact that he's doing this role, but this is like the first time that I can remember where he has made me angry. Like, he really is playing this character. I really hope that he ain't like this in any capacity in real life, because some people, I ain't gonna say no names, they can play some of these roles because that's how evil they are in real life. And a lot of these people y'all live for, a lot of y'all women, y'all live for some of these raggedy men who are on some of these TV shows. Like one of the ones that I review, another one that's about to come back, and you know, I ain't getting that. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, he was setting it. I was like, oh my God, I wish I could have snatched him through the thing. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what was in that box. Were they hospital bracelets from when she had to be, you know, taken to the hospital because she had been beaten? Was it because she'd been pregnant and he'd beaten the baby out of her, and miscarriage bracelet? You know, was it all of the bracelets from that? That's what I'm guessing that it is. And I meant to rewind because it looked like I saw one that was pink. I know some places they do white, and other places they actually do random colors for the hospital bracelets. But yeah, she had this box and it was like, had bracelets in it. And that was her way of saying that, you know, this was all of the baggage and the hurt that I've been carrying. It's your turn to carry it now. And, you know, he was looking at her like, what? So Nova kind of creeped over as the conversation was happening to kind of lend support if she needed to, but she wasn't saying nothing at first. So then Jimmy Dale got nasty with her, and she turned and walked away. Like, you could tell she had moments, but she kind of started stuttering, and I was like, oh no. Because that's how you could tell he still had a little bit of power over her life like that. I was like, oh no. So when she kind of started stuttering, that's when Nova came from out of nowhere and kind of held her hand, and she held onto her hand tight. I was like, yes, Lord, because I feel like this, I really thought that man was going to rear back and slap her to the ground. I'm telling you, some kind of way I was going to get through the TV screen to make sure that he don't ever raise his hand to nobody else. But anyway, y'all, oh Lord, it was just too much. So anyway, when she turned to leave, he had the box in his hand. So him being this evil man that he is, he has took the box and slammed it on the ground. And Vi actually got frightened by it and kind of screamed a little bit. So then she turned around, and it's like she got this strength from out of nowhere. And I was just like, ma'am. And it's like she read him. She was like, you know what, I get it. You have this, that rundown place he live in. This is all he got. He ain't got nothing. He old, raggedy. He ain't got nothing to speak of. So she was like, you came to me because I have it all. And I mean, he really had just tried to read her. It was like, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. And she was like, no, you're really the one who ain't got nothing. You ain't, you know what? She said, you ain't never been that. You ain't never gonna be this. And I was just like, oh my gosh. She was like, I got the house. I got all this money. I got the respect. I got my restaurant. You ain't got nothing. So, I mean, she said it all the way out. I was here for it. So, you could tell she had her moment of redemption, and she seems to be very free. So, she's leaving. And while she's leaving, this girl who is obviously young enough to be Jimmy Dale's great-granddaughter, and I said what I said, was rolling up with a Band-Aid over one of her eyebrows. Her face was beat up, and she was rail thin, and she had a bag of groceries in her hand. And Vi instantly was like, wait a minute, did he do this to you? Like, said it all the way off. He over here trying to call for the girl, was like, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. She don't know what she's talking about. Don't even listen to her. So she convinced the girl to go with them, and she was just like, I know a place where you can go and you can have a job. You ain't got to do, because she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I ain't got no place to go. If I do decide to leave, what if he come after me? And she was like, hey, if he come after you, I'll be there. So the girl actually did go with them, and they left. So when they were leaving, he got mad. He going to try to come down the steps a little bit because the girl dropped the groceries like she was asked to do to come with them. And he had to go out there, get them groceries, and he was looking like a fool, and I was here for it. So anyway, Kiki and Micah are at this museum, and they are admiring all of this artwork, and there are pictures from Hurricane Katrina, and it's just a lot of historical pieces that are in there. And Kiki was like, see, I love when you talk about, photography. I hope you don't give that up. And so he was like, I don't plan on giving that up. And, they got to talking, and I think he started having some realizations. So, yeah, he's mulling some things over. So, y'all, Vi ended up taking this woman to this women's shelter, and she knows one of the women that's there. I don't know if that is a shelter that she's gone to before when she was with Jimmy Dale to get away from him, or what, before she was strong enough to go back to the house, or what. Like, I don't know. Maybe she's gone and spoke and given food there. Sometimes you don't have to go to that place in order to know that it exists and to, know about people. I think she might have actually, done something like some service work. She went and, provided some food and all this other stuff. So she knows one of the ladies that's in there. She was like, if she decides that she want to go back, call me as soon as you find out. Because ain't nobody got time. Like, that ain't no prize. He ain't no prize, girl. So anyway, so now Vi is at her restaurant, and Darla's in there. She's picked up a pie. And so Vi come out the back and she was like, hey, I just want to thank you. And she was like, oh, girl, you're welcome. She was like, no, I really want to thank you. I was in a really low place and I didn't know what I was going to do. But you were so helpful. You were there for me when I needed someone the most and all this other stuff at my lowest point. And so, she gave her some motivation and encouragement again. And then Darla proceeds to try to give her 1 month sobriety chip. And I was like, oh, she was like, second to Blue, this is the most valuable thing that I own. And so she offers it up to her and Vi is touched. So yeah, y'all, Charlie is at the headquarters and then she, stops and makes an announcement and she's letting everybody know that they done tried it with the voter registration rolls. And now something else that we find out is that they have moved the voting locations for the Latino people 10 mile plus another direction so that it'll be harder for them to even get there. So then Prosper is like, look, we ain't gonna let nothing stop us. This ain't nothing but the same old tricks, just up a different new breed. A lot of stuff, there really is nothing new under the sun, and these people be doing the most. And so he was like, we're gonna do what we did before, and we're gonna come up with a transportation schedule and all that. So whatever we gotta do to get these people to the polls, if it's all about getting these bodies to the polls, we will do that. We will do what we need to do. Because Charlotte was like, look, if I'm gonna lose, I want to lose fair. I don't want to sit up here and lose and go out like this when it's not fair and you just doing all this underhanded stuff. So yeah, I was here for that. So now Vi is at home and Nova's there with her and they're having a moment and they're talking, and she ended up thanking Nova, and it's a lot. She ended up talking to her and, letting her know how free she is. And she was like, from now on, there will be no more secrets. So, despite everything that has happened, she's now seeing that these secrets have been what has been ruining the family from the inside out. So she was like, no more secrets. So she here for her, she's kind of back to old Vi towards Nova. Okay, y'all, so Nova and Charlie it's later on, and they are at Charlie's house prepping for the little gathering, and it's just gonna be an intimate gathering with the family members and of course Micah's girlfriend Kiki. And so they're talking and they're kind of going over some of their old world energy stuff, and she was letting her know that she'd been doing some digging, and then the person's name, when it got ran, it came back, and she was able to find this place that had like a cubicle and a phone, and ultimately all this stuff is under a shell corporation, and it's kind of a big deal, whoever these people are. And she's just like, I don't know what they want, but they are really doing the most to get what they want. So she's still gonna do some more digging to see, why all this is going on and why they are really targeting her like this. So anyway, later on at the party, Ralph Angel gets there, and so of course Blue sees his aunt, and he runs over there and he wants to sit between Nova and I think Prosper was sitting next to her. So he sits in between them. He was like, nah, Blue, you gotta come back over here, because Blue was like, why you gotta pick the seat, Pop? And he went right on over there to Nova. He had not seen her in a long time. And so he was like, no, you need to come on back over here. And so he's like, I want to sit with Nova. So he was like, all right, so you need to go wash your hands. So he did go with him to do that. So later on, they're in the bathroom. He was like, well, what's going on? Why can't I sit with Aunt Nova? And he was like, well, Aunt Nova did something to me that she shouldn't have. I don't agree with her. And it's funny, a little lesson came out of it, because a situation happened with Blue and one of his friends, and it's just, y'all, I was just like, a child had to school you on what you need to do to kind of move forward. So he's gonna eventually go ahead and like do what he need to do. But before that happened, his aunt Vi saw what was going on. He was like, don't be bringing this child in the middle of this mess. Like, it was crazy. So anyway, y'all, the end of this episode came and went. And it went out with a bang like this. They were toasting to Micah getting into Harvard and all of his success. And his mama gave him graduation gift, which was a Rolex and a card, supposedly from her and the daddy. I mean, it's the daddy's money, at a little bit, I guess. Or I don't know if he bought it or not. Anyway, so they're cheersing, they're giving the cheers and all that stuff, and he ain't really into it. He has not cheers back. And he was like, well, I gotta let y'all know something. I've decided to not go to Harvard. I'm gonna go to Xavier. And his mama was looking like, nah, what is you talking about? What you mean? And so he was like, I'm doing political science, I'm doing art, all this other stuff. And so she was like, no, you're gonna go to Harvard. This is what that school wasn't on your list. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, I mean, it was on my list. I made a list and it was on my list. And so he was like, I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta do what's best for me. I want to still do photography and all this other stuff. So he's trying to plead his case, so to speak. And she ain't here for it. Like, Charlie is not here for that. Everybody else in the room is trying to be supportive. And they was like, oh, well, that's amazing. You're going to a HBCU and you can help your people. And so Charlie was like, he can help his people and have a greater reach if he's going to Harvard and all this other stuff. And so she was like, I can't believe you're going to throw away your tool. You were given some tools in order to make a better life for yourself. I want it better for you. Like, she done went all the way. I was like, oh gosh. But she just is dead set on believing that he has thrown away this amazing opportunity because he now decides that he wants to go to Xavier. I visited Xavier like 12 to 15 years ago. It's been a long time, so I'm pretty sure the campus has changed. But every campus that I visited when I went to Louisiana, it was amazing. And this was all before Hurricane Katrina. So again, I don't know, but yeah, I went there before to visit, touring. At that time, I think I was touring undergraduate colleges, but I was always gonna go to Alabama State University. Anyway, y'all, this was very intense, and no matter what she said, he wasn't trying to hear it. And he was like, it don't even matter. I rescinded my Harvard acceptance this morning. So it is very final, and she is mad as I don't know what. Anyway, I know I was all over the place, but so much is going on. It has my mind in different places and all that. But yeah, y'all, be safe out there. I'm about to take cover if I need to. Anyway, y'all have a good one, and I will see y'all for another video. Bye.